Why do women think that they are entitled to their husband's property? For the fact that you're married to a man does not mean you have rights over the property. Ladies, you have to be smart this 2026. If you want to have any entitlement in your husband's property, make sure your name is also in that document. Because this is not UK, this is not US, this is not Canada. This is Nigeria, and it's the man's world over here. If you know you contributed financially over a property, make sure your name is there. I'm going to be hosting my colleague. We are going to be dissecting what a client asked her, and in that way you will get to understand how the law works when it has to do with property. Stay tuned as we bring to you this video.
Ciao. Hi guys, we're back again. So I want to read out this message that a client sent to me. She was trying to ask me questions. So she said, hello barrister, good morning. So please, I and my husband got separated last year, December to be specific. So now I want to know, how do we split our properties? How do we go about it? So,
Okay, the question she asked was, how do we split our properties?
yes.
The thing is, we have to even find out if the property is jointly owned.
Okay.
You know, when it has to do with marriage, the law sees marriage as one, no doubt. But then there are some entitlement and obligations that a marriage carries that makes the two parties are seen as two people now. For example, when it has to do with property, the law has held on several occasions that if you did not contribute financially, now you do not have rights over that property. During let me say the time of the common law, you will see where a woman, maybe then it was very paramount that women don't go to work. Then they consider the length of the marriage. They consider how maybe she took care of the family and every other thing, and they share the property, but not 50-50.
Yes.
But you know, Nigerians, they keep feeling like this is UK, and they keep talking about 50-50. There's nothing like 50-50 in Nigerian law. It's the men's world over here.
Unfortunately.
It's actually the men's world. So in as much as you will get, the only time you can claim 50-50 is when you contributed financially.
Yes.
So your friend asking a question, we need to actually find out if she has receipts that she contributed financially, then of course
In acquiring the company.
in acquiring the property,
yes.
in of course she can get 50-50 from it. But then again, there are ways to share property in matrimonial cases. Two parties can decide, take this one, leave this one. This is for you, this is for you. That's for parties that have understanding.
Exactly.
They write an agreement, they share the property amicably, and they move on.
Yes.
But you can, if you decide to go to court, maybe because parties are not agreeing, then the court has to look into each person's contribution.
Integrities.
If you got married and your marriage is 5 years old, you can't be claiming property now, because it's as good as the man acquired most of those things, except you can show that you have a contribution financially over that. But if you don't have financial contribution and maybe you were asked to stay back at home and work, my dear, the best you're entitled to is compensation and maintenance. That's what you should be looking out for, but not sharing in the property. So if your friend contributed financially, then good, she can always get her share. She can also contact us, so we put a call across to her husband. They will find out how they can share. Then we do a deed for them, do an agreement for them, and they share it and they move on. But why are they divorcing though?
So guys, you've heard it. If you just divorced your husband or vice versa, please make sure that you reach out to a lawyer. It's not something you should do by yourself, so you don't make mistakes. And so yes, we have two types of marriages: statutory marriage and customary marriage. So if it's in the case of a statutory marriage, you have to know when and what the person contributed. So if they contributed jointly, I mean financially, not emotionally right now. So yes, final money, if you guys contributed, together jointly, then the property is to be shared equally. You guys can agree, oh, you go with this, myself, I go with this. But then it has to be shared jointly and equally. But then, if it's a customary marriage, if they just did something on your head, that thing they do on your head, that one, yes. They will tell you to carry your bag and go home. Oh. You cannot come and be struggling for property. At least where I come from, you don't do that. You just carry your bag. If you have kids, they will dash you your kids too. You carry them and go. And then they'll not be paying you maybe small, stipend here and there. So yes, that is how you share properties in this kind of marriages.
Marriage between parties are usually emotional. I love you, I love you, I love you. But you guys forget the legal implication of getting married. So it's when there are issues, then you start knowing, okay, I brought this, I brought that,
Yes.
I brought. So whenever you're entering into a marriage, always know that you're entering into a contract.
Yes.
So if you're the one that contributed financially, of course, you deserve to be for the property to be shared. At least you get your own take.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
nobody is a gold digger.
My dear.
But then again, if you didn't contribute financially, sorry, maybe you go to
Sorry,
court and
oh.
fight for maintenance.
No,
Then for
that kind
customary
of-
law, customary marriages do not really favor women a lot.
Not at all.
As a woman, if you do customary marriage, please proceed to do English marriage.
Yes.
Don't just end up doing customary marriage and leaving it at that.
Yes.
So move ahead. So apart from that, these are the ways that properties are shared. See you guys on our next video.
Bye-bye.